Welcome to the Bible Gossip Podcast. I'm your host, Katie Fellman. I am going to go book by book and chapter by chapter, verse by verse into the Bible. If you've never read the Bible before, now is a great time to join me. We are starting at Genesis, so let's dive in. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. Let's pause. Okay, so that's verse 3. Why light first? So, God, who's the creator of everything, do you, do you think he has like human eyes? He's like, oh, I can't see. I need to create light. Like, why? No, he doesn't need eyes. I don't know if he has eyes, but he doesn't need eyes. But why light? Like, why did he make light first? He's going to create everything. But he's like, you know what? Let's separate light and darkness. Interesting, right? I don't know why. I don't know what. There's probably like a scholarly reason. Yeah, but I don't know. That's big for me. Like, why light? Why light first? Why didn't he create the earth first and then go, hey, it's dark, we should create some light? Like, why was light first? And I think that's really, for me, kind of powerful. Like, we always want to go to the light. We want to be in the light. We want to be the light. She's the light when she walked into the room. Being a light is a big deal. So the fact that he created light first is pretty crazy. Okay, back to it. Verse 4. And God saw that light was good. And God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening and there was morning the first day. Verse 6, and God said, let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let it separate waters from waters. Pause. I don't know if you have ever gone down a flat earther hole, but there is big talk about waters from waters. And that's one of their points, is that like waters from waters, there's a firmament. I don't know what you believe, but this is the Bible Gossip Podcast for a reason. We're gossiping here. I'm here to tell you what's happening all over the place. So I find that point really interesting. Waters from waters. We'll move on. I'm not really sure what to make of that. Moving on, verse 7, and God made the expanse and separated the waters that were under the expanse from the waters that were above the expanse. And it was so. And God called the expanse heaven. And there was evening and there was morning the second day. So we've got 2 days now. And God said, let the waters under the heavens be gathered into one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. God called the dry land earth, and the waters that were gathered together he called the seas. And God saw it was good. And God said, let the earth sprout vegetation, plants yielding seed, and fruit trees bearing fruit, in which their seed, each according to its kind, on earth. And it was so. The earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seed according to their own kinds, and trees bearing fruit, in which their seed, each according to its own kind. And God saw that it was good. And there was an evening, and there was morning, the third day. So now we're on Wednesday. That would be our modern day Wednesday. And God said, let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night, and let them be signs for the seasons and for the days and the years, and let them be lights in the expanse of the heavens to give light upon the earth. So pause. That is our sun and our moon and our stars and the planets. Absolutely crazy. Like, what I think is crazy to think about is like, he's like, they're gonna need a way to tell the seasons. They're gonna have seasons. And the fact that at this point all we have are plants, right? Plants and trees. I mean, plants are trees. So he has a master plan. He knows he's bringing more things onto this earth. and he's making a plan for them. And so he's like, all right, I'm going to get everything ready and then I'll create. So is he going from biggest to smallest? We were last, by the way. Okay, let's go back. And so let them be signs for the seasons and for days and years, and let them be lights in the expanse of the heavens to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made the two great lights, the sun and the moon, and the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, and the stars. And God sent them into the expanse of the heavens to give light on earth, to rule over the day and over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning on the fourth day. So here's Thursday. Let's see what Friday brings. And God said, let the waters swarm in swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the expanse of the heavens. So God created the sea, creatures, and every living creature that moves, with which the waters swarm, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them. I love that. I love when there's a blessing in here. Saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let the birds multiply on the earth. And there was evening and there was morning, the fifth day. Now we have, right? Wouldn't that be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Okay, Saturday. And God said, oh, you know what? We are not moving on there. Sorry. Okay. We're moving on to we were at verse 23. Now we're at 24. I got lost. Sorry. And God said, let the earth bring forth living creatures according to their kinds, livestock and creeping things, and beasts of the earth according to their kinds. And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth according to their kinds, and the livestock according to their kinds, and everything that creeps on the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. I'm not ever questioning God's authority and his plans, but there are a lot of creeping things on the ground. He really thought them through. Then God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds in the heavens, and over the livestock, and all over the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. This is huge. So he's saying, give them dominion, give them authority, give them the power to be in control of everything on earth. So he created man, and he said, go ahead, you guys are in charge. But the thing with dominion, so you hear ruling, right? Like, we're the rulers of the earth. But the other thing with dominion is it is kind of like stewardship, where we really should be taking care of the gifts we've been given. We really need to be honoring the gifts we've been given. We need to, instead of just ruling with an iron fist, we need to be working in harmony with the gifts we've been given by God. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Verse 28, and God blessed them. And God said to them, be fruitful and multiply the earth and subdue it. So that's another big word. I'm kind of a word nerd. So we've got dominion and we have subdue it. So for me as a mom, I have two, multiplications, little babies. And the thing is, like, as a mom, you read this and you're like, be fruitful and multiply. Check. Did it. And fill the earth and subdue it. So the thing is, I could have two little hell raisers for sure. Like, I mean, who doesn't? Especially like toddler years and it gets crazy. But the word subdue, I think, is also very powerful in this chapter. I think it's really a call to us mamas. Like, we are not, yes, we are meant to multiply. That does not mean that they get to run amok on this planet. God is literally calling us, subdue them. They need authority. You have authority over them. You need to be in control of those little people. So I don't know. I love that. And sorry, that's like a half verse. We're going to finish. And have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves on earth. And God said, behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the face of the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit. You shall have them for food. and to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the heavens, and to everything that creeps on the earth, everything that has the breath of life. I have given every green plant for food. So he's literally telling you everything works in harmony. Everything. Like, I created the bugs on the ground. They've got stuff to eat. We've got these big old beasts. We've got the livestock. We've got, all the creatures. They have things to eat. Everything has its place in this plan. So it's just kind of amazing. And the other thing that really makes me pause and think is like, okay, so he created bugs. He created like everything. Everything has a plan and it has a purpose. And he knew that, like, going in day one when he created the expanse. He knew what was coming. He knew what his big plan was. And so it really kind of amazes me when anyone can think that they're not meant to be here. They're like, to think like he's got a massive plan. He planned it down. I mean, and I'm not a science kind of gal. But I know there's oh shoot, I wish I could remember. There's a quote from like Young Sheldon, that show, and he talks about like how perfect, the mom, and let me paint the scene for you. In the show, the mom is feeling like, oh my gosh, I can't parent this kid. He's just like so smart. He's so creative. He ends up being a crazy scientist. And so the child consoles the mom and is like, God made everything. He made, like if the planet spun just a little bit faster, if the sun was just a little bit further away, if anything was out of balance, like nothing would be, everything would fall in on itself, everything would be ruined. We wouldn't be here. And so he's telling her, like, how could you think like I was not meant to belong to you? You are meant to be my mom. And so I get a little emotional thinking about that, because we're given these kids, and like, how could we think that we're not meant for those children, or we are not meant to be on this planet, or like our bigger picture? It's pretty powerful, and that's our calling. That's what we're meant to do. So, anyways, moving on, drying the tears. Um, so he gave us everything. Everything works together. And it was so. And God saw everything he made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning on the sixth day. So that is all of chapter 1 in Genesis. The other thing I really want to point out in this chapter is, I wrote a note on here somewhere. Dominion, blessed, fruitful. Oh God, I lost it. I lost my note. I had a good thought. I don't know. I think that when we are listening and being guided by the Holy Spirit with our creative gifts, I feel that our life is more in harmony. I think that is where God wants us to live, listening to Him, abiding by His rules, which we're going to learn about more, and also spreading our creative gifts and using them. And I think that is where harmony, I think you'll find in your life when you're listening to God and being guided by the Holy Spirit and using your creative powers. I think you will find that your life is much more harmonious. The other really interesting thing that we read in this chapter is dominion. I love when he uses that word, because dominion is having the authority and responsibility to rule over creation. So he didn't just give us these things and like, oh, here you go, like take over, just do what you want with it. No, he was like, you need to be responsible. And I would say today there's we can see some irresponsibility in the world. And I think it's our calling as Christians and as people who are following God to live up to this standard. He is asking us to work in harmony with what He has provided. I think that means taking care of the earth, taking care of our farming, taking care of our wildlife, taking care of our families, taking care of ourselves. I also think dominion goes hand in hand with like stewardship. So we need to be the stewards of the world, and we need to, and that I think that works with relationships as well. But we need to really work on and focus on taking care of our world, taking care of our families, yada, yada, yada. But that's our responsibility, and God's called that on us. He didn't just say, hey, go run amok on the earth. The other thing is, he says in this passage, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it. The word subdue really felt like a call to parenting for me. I think that there are times when our kids are running amok on this planet and in our homes, and they are not being held to the accountability that we have as parents. And so I really felt like we need to fill the earth. We need to multiply. But that doesn't mean we just get to let our kids do whatever they want. We need to subdue our children. We have dominion over them. We have the responsibility to raise good children, and we cannot just let them be. We need to guide them. This feels very much like we need to be stewards of all of creatures. And I really feel like this passage shows us the miracles. He created life, he created creatures, he created Adam, he created all of us. So you are perfectly made, and you are meant to be here. And whatever your path you're on right now, that's the path you're meant to be on. And that's what this chapter really speaks to me. Like, we are all meant to be here. Like, he created it. This is the plan. I would say my thought and my challenges, to think about how perfectly created everything is, and then put yourself in that perspective. Like, wow, like he made these plants, and he made these birds that eat these plants, and he made the butterflies that take the pollen and go make more plants. But somehow, like, I'm thrown into this mess as well. Like, why? What was my point? What was my purpose? And I think if you sit and listen to God and have a conversation with him, I think in those creative juices, I think that answer might become clear to you.